Hi there, I'm C, and it's good to see you again. I have a promise to fulfill. I said before the last Nintendo Direct that if Nintendo didn't announce a new Mii game coming to the Switch, I'd make a video about a Mii game this month. And guess what? No new Mii game. If Nintendo's not going to give me any new Mii content, then I guess I'll just have to make it myself. If you've somehow been living under a rock for the past 13 years, Miis are an avatar system introduced on the Nintendo Wii and have since gone on to appear on the 3DS, Wii U, and Switch. You construct your character's face with the various parts available, as well as adjusting their height and width, and because of their homogeneous body shape, they could be slotted into a variety of games just by slapping the head on the existing model and adjusting the size of the body. And bada bing bada boom, you're in the game! Some games were purpose-built with Miis and only Miis in mind, like the Wii series, their biggest claim to fame. Other games came from established franchises, but allowed Miis to appear as playable characters, like Mario Kart and Smash Bros. While Miis have lost prominence in recent years, perhaps thanks to Nintendo wanting to distance themselves from the Wii U and the Wii brand in general, I still have a fondness for these little buggers, and I'd like to revisit one of my fondest memories from the Mii era. A little game called Tomodachi Life. Releasing on the 3DS in 2013 for Japan and 2014 for the rest of the world, Tomodachi Life was actually the second game in the Tomodachi series, after the Japan-exclusive Tomodachi Collection on the DS. The game's a bit of a life simulator, letting you transform your Miis from generic fill-in-the-blank avatars to actual characters living out their lives. There's obviously not really any story to speak of in a game like this, nor really any end goal that I'm aware of. You're just given control of an island and told to fill it with Miis so they can go about their daily life. It actually tells you to use lookalikes of people you know, but for the most part I really just filled my island with video game characters I liked. While there's no set story, the game still has the same sort of charm that other life simulators like The Sims and Animal Crossing do, as you watch the relationships grow between your Miis and all sorts of drama unfold. It's almost like a little soap opera right in your pocket. Now, since I don't really have any story to speak of, I guess we can just get right into the gameplay, starting with the creation of the main cast. From the get-go, you're asked to add a lookalike of yourself to the island. This one's a little important, since the islanders will continue to refer to you as the lookalike of the first Mii. So unless you want to be referred to as Reggie's lookalike, I suggest adding yourself first. There are three main ways to begin making the Mii: importing a Mii from the Mii Maker application, scanning a QR code. Okay, so I kinda screwed up when writing the script and recording the audio, but their option's just the same as the Mii Maker. Take a photo of your face and watch as it gives you an incredibly incorrect Mii based on your facial features. Moving on. Or starting from scratch with the default Mii. Whatever you choose, you're then thrown into a replica of the Mii Maker to edit the Mii as you wish. Back to the QR code option though, there are two kinds of QR codes you can scan. Regular Mii Maker QR codes, and special Tomodachi Life QR codes. Mii Maker QR codes will simply give you the Mii themselves, while a Tomodachi Life QR code will give you everything they'd gotten in the game up to the point the QR code was made, and will fill in all the details that come next. It starts with the standard Mii Maker stuff: creator, birthday, nickname, sharing on or off, but it also asks for their first name and last name, whether they're related to you or not, and lets you set the pronunciation of the names, as the game actually features text-to-speech voice acting. Speaking of, you're then given the option to set your Mii's voice, although no matter what options you choose, it's probably going to end up sounding horrific. Finally, you're given a personality chart to fill in, and depending on your answers, the Mii will be put into one of 16 personalities, which will determine how they act on the island, and what kind of Miis they'll get along with. After the big tutorial section, where you're forced to add yourself and one other Mii, you can add Miis at any time at the town hall, up to a maximum of 100 Miis living on your island at once. But what use is adding Miis if you can't do anything with them? When you look at the apartment building, you'll sometimes see an icon indicating that a Mii needs something. A black icon indicates a problem. Usually it's a menial task like getting them food or new clothes, but sometimes it'll be something a little different, like asking what the weather's going to be like, or looking inside their stomach. By solving problems, you can earn money and rewards, and you'll increase a Mii's happiness. Once their happiness maxes out, they'll level up, and you'll get a choice of 5 presents: a song, which we'll discuss later, an interior, to change the design of their room, a gift that they can play with in their apartment, a catchphrase, which they'll say from time to time, and pocket money. so they can save up to go to the moon. Black icons aren't the only thing you'll find on the apartment screen though. Orange icons indicate a problem regarding friends. Usually it means a Mii wants to make friends with someone, but sometimes they'll just ask what you think of them and their friends. A green icon indicates that a Mii wants to play a game. Usually it'll be something like a quiz to name the correct item or Mii, but a few are a little more special, like this wrestling game. I have no idea how it works. A blue icon means your Mii is upset. This usually happens after a fight, or getting rejected, or something like that. When this happens, their happiness meter changes to a sadness meter, and you have to try and drain it so they can go back to normal, by doing things that would normally make them happy, like giving them food or gifts. Or I guess you could just leave them to wallow in their sadness, and they'll eventually get over it by themselves. Finally, a pink icon indicates a problem regarding love. This could mean your Mii wants to ask someone out, propose to someone they're currently dating, or try for a child with their partner. Unfortunately, the game does not support sexualities other than straight, but apparently that's coming if we ever get a sequel. So that's cool. I never really spoke about the interface when interacting with Miis, did I? Your Mii is on the bottom screen, while the top screen shows a list of your Mii's favourite and least favourite foods, the aforementioned happiness meter, how full their stomach is, their best friend and romantic partner, any gifts you've given them through level ups, and whether they're an adult or a child. All very important information for taking care of a Mii. On the bottom screen, you'll have a button for giving a Mii an item, either food, clothing, an interior, or a special item. But depending on what your Mii already has, you may also have buttons to change their clothing, their room's interior, or their catchphrases. Once you select an item to give, the game gets you to drag the item into their hands using the touchscreen. But if you're lazy, you can just sort of throw it on the floor and let them pick it up themselves. Thought bubbles will appear next to your Mii if they have something to say, sometimes showing something specific that's on their mind, but usually it's just a squiggle or an ellipsis to indicate a problem or an idle conversation, respectively. You can also interact with the Mii by just tapping around their room, getting them to look where you're tapping, or taking a look inside their head or stomach if that suits your fancy. You can even pick them up and drag them around the room, although, as far as I can tell, that doesn't really do anything. By the way, those special items I mentioned that you can give to Miis, you can get those from clearing requests, and they do a variety of things. Some are little gadgets that you can interact with, akin to the toys from WarioWare Touched. Others give you a nice little cutscene or a picture, and others still are required to solve problems, like medicine. It's always good to have these on hand, just on the off chance your Mii asks for one of them or needs to be cheered up, and since there's no shop for them, you'll need to make do with what you can get from your Miis. That's a whole lot about Miis, and a whole lot of nothing about the island though. Let's fix that. You've already heard about the town hall for adding and removing Miis, and just generally messing with the settings. You've of course got shops for your general needs on the island, food, clothes, hats, interiors, even a pawn shop where you can sell treasures you've gotten from winning games. There's places like the beach, fountain, and observation tower that, for the most part, just act as a place for Miis to hang out other than their apartments, but they do sometimes hold special events. You also have some special things like a compatibility tester and rankings board, both of which require a Mii to have their full birth info inputted, the Mii News, which outside of the tutorial news flashes can be viewed for some nonsensical scenarios, and the port, campground, and importware, all of which rely on Street Pass. There's even a seaplane to take you directly to the Nintendo Image Share site to post your screenshots to social media, since the game released in Japan before Miiverse came to the 3DS, and thus they allowed you to take screenshots at any time using the X and Y buttons. All of this stuff slowly unlocks over time, usually as you add Miis or solve problems, but some have more specific unlock conditions that you can check on the map. If you know anything about Tomodachi Life though, you're probably aware of the concert hall. Once you give a Mii a song on level up, this place will unlock and you can start writing songs for your Miis. The tune of each genre is set in stone, but you're allowed to fill in your own lyrics, and your Mii will do their best to, sing the words to the tune of the song. It doesn't really work out too well most of the time, but that just sorta adds to the hilarity of it. I'd love to show you an example, but unless you want it in crappy off-screen camera footage recorded from a mobile phone quality, I'm afraid you'll have to turn elsewhere to find some good examples. Now, I've talked for this long, but there's still just so much I could talk about. I haven't really talked about how marriages and children work. I've barely touched on the various games you can play with your Miis and the presents you can give them. I haven't said anything about the odd dreams your Miis can have. But honestly, I think no matter how much I talk about this game, I'll never be able to properly convey the charm it has. In fact, I don't think anyone can through words alone. When Nintendo first showed off the game, I wasn't really interested in it. What pulled me in was not an explanation of the game's various features, but footage of the game being played and experienced for the first time, courtesy of Game Explain's Derek. Seeing all the features coming together into a cohesive package, along with all the bits and bobs that are something that need to be experienced rather than explained, that was what convinced me to buy it. And I'm glad I did! I originally planned this video as something similar, playing through the game and taking screenshots to compile a sort of screenshot let's play. By the end of the second day though, I realized trying to combine a week's worth of screenshots into a single video was probably a terrible idea. Instead, I think I'll just link to Game Explain's playthrough, so you can see for yourself what piqued my interest, if I haven't already piqued yours. I'd honestly love for this game to get a proper sequel, and no, Miitomo doesn't count. It's certainly a bit more limited than other life sims like, well, The Sims, but there's something about the simplistic nature of Tomodachi Life that draws me in. Taking care of your Miis like a Tamagotchi and watching as they make and break friendships, fall in love, and just go about their daily lives. Honestly, it doesn't even need to be on the Switch. With the nature of the game, checking in to solve some problems and then coming back later, it could even work as a mobile game. Heck, make it one of those town building apps so you have to actually build up the island yourself instead of just stuff unlocking for you. I don't mind. I just want my Miis back. I made a bunch on the Switch in preparation for Smash, and they're kinda terrible, but I'd like to use them for more than just Smash and Mario Kart. Heck, give us a Miitopia sequel, a Nintendo Land sequel, a reboot of the Wii series, anything. I miss these funny little fellows. But I suppose it's like I said in the beginning. If Nintendo's not gonna give me new Mii content, then I'll just have to make my own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see ya when I see ya.